Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Lines Forever. Today, I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Neroxus map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the Northwest, ending with Team 2 in the Southeast. Starting off with Team 1's Northeastern player, they're working our way kind of in a V shape here. We have in Royal Blue, Team 1's will aptly name the Blue Lynx. He is a Seraphim for this match as a 1500. In Ruby Red to his south, we have Nasimka as a Seraphim as well as a 1900, the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall. To his southwest, we have in lightest red, Pink, Astro Shub. He is a Cybern for this match as a 1200. In forest green to the north, we have the Aeon player of Corn. He is a 1500. And last but not least, for Team 1, we have in light oak tan, Rickor is 23. Yeah, it's Rickor is 23. Yep, he is a Seraphim for this match as a 1300. So for Team 1's side of the map, they have 3 Seraphim, 1 Aeon, 1 Cybern, which means Team 1 lacks the, well, my personal favorite, the UEF faction. Starting out for Team 2, in the same motion, but in an upside-down V. We'll start with the southern side and working our way eastward. We have in Emerald Green, Team 2's Mofo1. He is an Aeon for this match as a 1600. To his north, we have in Snow White Katsu as a UEF. He is a 1700. He is the highest rated player on his team of Team 2. To the northeast, we have in Chevy Crimson, Team 2's Tough Boy 13. He is a UEF as well for this match as a 1000 rated player. To his south in Barbie Pink, we have Psycho Ad. He is a Cybern for this match, and I think he is a 1600. If I'm not mistaken, I think that is his color of choice. I think I've casted a few games with him recently where he's been Barbie Pink, so that just might be his default color. And last but not least, for Team 2, we have in Tropical Ocean Blue, SSSX Knee, or Knee, I'll probably call him for short. He is a Seraphim for this match as a 1500. So the difference between Team 2 and Team 1's lineup is Team 2 has one of each of the factions with a second major in UEF tech, while Team 1 has 3 majors in Seraphim tech with an Aeon and a Cybern and no UEF. So nobody is snubbed for this game in terms of faction alignment or decisions or life choices or whatever, but Team 1, of course, does lack the UEF tech all the same. And for these 10 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim situation we have to scoop up. Currently sitting at 17,000 mass as my throat decides to just give out on me there. So about 1.7k mass per player to scoop up. It isn't a terrible amount. It is definitely a decent amount. Most of it does reside in these little mountain plateaus area, some of it on top and some of it around the base there. So our players going to be scampering around to go for that reclaim. Besides of that, I mean, there's a couple of 750s, nothing really of a consequence, besides a little bit of mass in the southeast and northwestern corners that our rearguard airside players are most likely going to go after themselves. And speaking of course, the mass situation here, we'll cut the map kind of a very weird angle. If I cut it down the middle, there's these 2 pretty much islands in the northeast and southwest of a 5-star mix each, so it's kind of hard to kind of divvy them up. I guess we'll just say the southern one is for Team 2 and the northern one is for Team 1, so we'll kind of cut the map kind of in a weird at an angle horizontal line right around here. So looking at Team 2 side of the map specifically, there is, of course, that 5-star mix down here, another 5-star mix here that Mofo is going for in a quad mix and a tri-mix position. He has a lot of mass and another 5-star mix position. He has a lot of mexes to grab on his side of the map. Looks like a quad mix position in the middle here for Team 2's Katsu. Twin mix right next door. Most likely will go to Psychoad or Katsu, one or the other. And then I think this is going to be for Team 1 side of the map, but it does look like Tough Boy is moving into go for that at the present moment. And for that, it does look like the mask definitely favors the northern/southern players in this game in terms of the edge alignment. But I would not be surprised if somebody gets a couple of mexes donated to them or whatever the case may be. I highly doubt only one player is going to have all of this mass. Taking a look at where our players are headed off to, we do see the rearguard side player did grab this 5-star mex position. Definitely a smart move. getting that early mass and upgrading to T2, T3 air tech as fast as possible. There are a couple of civilian structures to grab. Not a lot of mass in them, of course, but again, any mass is better than no mass. There's actually a decent amount of them around the map. Looks like 3 for each side, so 6 in total by my estimations of that simple math. Hopefully it was simple in my head. It's looking like to be a 1v1 in the southwest between Team 2's Mofo and Team 1's Astro Shub. We do see in the middle at least a 2v1 situation developing between Korn and not the wall section. There we go. Nasimka for Team 1 and Katsu for Team 2, but I would not be surprised to see Psychoad shift in that direction, and then most likely a 1v1 at a minimum, if not the most, between Blue Lynx on Team 1 and Tough Boy on Team 2, with the rearguard airshot players staying in their base probably for most of the match. I highly doubt that they'll walk out. It isn't a exactly full 20 by 20 because it's a tiny little bit, but it's a 20 by 20 essentially. It's rounding up all that nonsense. No worries about that. So it's a long walk to get from the front to the back. So I highly doubt those rearguard airshot players will be able to walk the 5-6 minute walk to get over to some front line. We do see a T2 upgrade has been started for Katsu in the middle. Going to be a little bit more defensive in his positioning here. Just wanted to make sure that there's no run-bys that are kind of possibly not really, but kind of sort of happening here for Team 1. It's a little bit more poking. There's a couple of units divvied up this way, as well as some units building up here for Blue Lynx that Team 2's Eastern player of Tough Boy definitely needs to watch out for. But it does look like Psychoad is kind of playing more of an east and middle kind of area, so it's not really a 2v1 in favor of Team 1 in the middle and a 1v1 for the northeast. It's kind of like a 1.5 for Team 2 and 1.5 for Team 2 in the middle and the east as well. So it's kind of nice shifting possibilities, but nothing concrete one way or the other. We do see in the southwest Team 2's Mofo actually taking a lot of damage from these T1 units inbound from Astro Shub. Astro Shub doing a very good job of keeping him back. There's a lot of units spamming out here for this position here for SSSX, doing his best to at least assist his teammate in this southwestern corner against their opponent of Astro Shub. And we do see that Korn has shifted a little bit from the middle, but nothing too far away, just close enough to be able to assist the west or the east, very similar to what Psychoad is doing for Team 2. Gun has been started here for Blue Lynx in the northeast. His direct mirror, her direct opponent of Tough Boy, going for a gun as well. Of course, it is the Seraphim comm versus the UEF comm, so Team 2 will have a little bit in a jump, or at least an advantage in the hit points by only 500, which honestly isn't really that much to worry about. We do see that Team 1's rearguard airshot player has done the same thing that Team 2's did, except Team 2 Psychoad has now dropped their facility and then some, and is essentially denying or trying to deny that northeastern corner for his opponent of Team 1's Rickors. We do see a lot of units just, again, not pushing in, but forming a nice little front line. I wouldn't be surprised to see those donated over to Mofo because he's right here, but he's currently going for a gun upgrade, so he's a little bit busy at the moment, kind of running around just fixing some holes and worrying about, of course, upgrading that gun. We do see another gun upgrade here for Psychoad for Team 2. Again, he's positioned in the middle, so he can shift one way or the other. He's not really confined by environment, as well as he's a tiny little pond that I think he can hide in. It's not that deep. I don't think it protects against T3 bombers. If you've seen that video, really good video, by the way. Very, very, not going to say close match, but definitely a reversal towards the end there. I didn't want to spoil it for you, but it's one of those videos where it's like I was surprised by the ending kind of thing. Anyway, just got to watch out for comms in water, that sort of thing, and how deep that water is. Sensor package going here for Mofo, not going for speed, very interestingly enough. Korn pushing in against a lot of T1 units, actually a couple of the T2s I might add from Mofo. He's getting some UEF tech donated over to him. Looks like, where is that coming from? Possibly from Katsu's position over here in the east. He has T2 land already online. T2 air most likely, actually, excuse me, T3 air online for both of these teams in the air department. And we see another air player of Team 1's for Korn. So while Team 2 is focusing, I think, solely on one air player, Team 2, actually, no, excuse me, apologies. That is another air player for Team 2. So in a 5v5 game, there are 2 air players for both teams. Not something you see every day. Maybe you'll see 1 air player for one team and 2 for the other, but not 2 in the same slots for both. There must have been some discussion earlier on or something about that, because again, both teams in the same positions doing the exact same things. Coincidence? I think not. I have to get my little video recorder out and watch some guy put a tack on my desk or my chair or something. Down in the comments, let me know what movie that's from. Anyway, Nano Repair coming online here for Astro. Already has the stealth upgrade online. Probably should go for gun just to be a little bit more offensive and be able to push back Team 2's Mofo. But again, he's going to be able to survive a lot of hits with that Nano. We do see that Corn essentially being surrounded and pushed into the water. He's dropped into the yellow here at this point. Team 2 Psychoad pushing in against a couple of Hovertech units with his gunships, and his Calm pushing in against a nice little grouping of Team 1s. Get some veterancy on board, almost up to 1 star. Same thing happening here in the east for Team 2. So Team 2 doing a decent job of pushing both in the northeast and the southwest. Nothing really down the middle. It's a huge... Not a huge hole, but just enough to be able to maybe push on through one way or the other. It would be a risk to send the Calm with that force unless he has a lot of shield coverage. But it does look like he is going to move it and intercept. I think Psychoad, he wants to isolate him and deal with him before he gets to be a bother later on in the match, presumably. We do see that Astro Hub. Maybe he heard me from the ether. Maybe he didn't, but he's going for a gun as we speak in that western side with a shield protecting him. I do love that move, making sure that he doesn't just get sniped immediately. Has a little bit of protection. Stealth coming on the way here for Psychoad with this Team 1, T2 army intermixing with one another from both teams. Looks like Team 2 is sorely outnumbered, but it will buy Psychoad pretty much enough time to finish that upgrade. He's already at 60-something, 70% there. And this is at 0 speed. It was at 1. And that's going up real quick, so he'll be able to get out of dodge very easily. We do see that Katsu trying to, again, move in and probably establish some PD to defend, especially over here to the east is what he's doing currently. Those forces not going eastward, going south, so it'll buy him a little bit of time and help assist Psychoad a little bit with defenses over there. You see a lot of T2 units inbound from Astro Shove to the west. His gun is done. Corn is over here. He is retreating. He's probably going back to base. Yes, he is. He's like, nope, I'm done. I did my time on the front line. I took some hits. Not a fan. You see engineers. Actually, no, that's not an engineer. That is a Titan on board. And yes, that will definitely help a lot. But there's a lot of Team 1 units, a couple of Hovertech in the form of some Yenzine coming out here from Nasimka. So 1 Titan is not going to be enough. It'll be enough to hold off a little bit. Another Titan gets dropped off. That transport is gone. And it does look like another transport online here for Katsu, deploying the rally method, I would presume, and getting those units on the front line as fast as possible. That will force this force back and give Team 2 more time to build up defenses. In the southwest, couple of bombers going after the comm. And yeah, the comm's not going to like that, but an easy shield upgrade will definitely not make him worried about a whole lot of things. And of course, ASF starting to throw their weight around, at least for Team 2 at the moment. Team 1 Naval Factory in the northeastern corner of the map here for the air player of all players. Don't know what he's doing with that. Maybe he'll go for cruisers. That'd be very funny. I highly doubt it, but it'd be very funny. We do see that Blue Lynx again on the front line going after a lot of Mongeese. Of course, Mongeese have a decent range on board with that grenade launcher as well, but the hit points on board leave a lot to be desired. Blue Lynx getting a lot of veterancy for those kills and getting double, triple kills. It's not great for Team 2's eastern front. You really got to keep those Mongeese back, because if you don't, like we see, they just get wiped. We do see that in the southwest. Astro Shove pushes in against Mofo's position. Does have a lot of Team 1 tanks for Astro Shove to chew through, but that's a lot of tanks to chew through. And Strat Bomber over the top here for Korn. Went after a facility. I don't know if it was T2 land headquarters. Looks like probably at least the T2 facility in general. Another bomb drops. Does look like that's where the UEF tech is coming from here from Mofo. And Astro still holding on. Lots of T2 units, of course, here for Astro. And Mofo just has range and sensor package on board. He will be able to make it into the water, but unfortunately this position is now pretty much untenable at this point. There's still a lot of T2 units that can deal damage, but most of them have been dealt with. And now the role reversal once again. coming into play. Astroshub pushed in a little bit too far forward, tried to go for the kill, and there's a lot of T2 units here. Will Mofo go for the kill? He dropped his opponent into the red. There's still a decent amount of T1s to chew through and T2s. Astroshub could be the first player of the game to depart his team, and he does, of course, click that little reclaim there. And yes, that is a kill here for Team 2. That's all the units nearby, and of course, it is now a 5v4 in favor of the southern team of Team 2. Will that backfire for them? It gives another base, most likely to Nasimka. It could go to Korn. I highly doubt it would go to Rickers. It would either be Korn or Nasimka for me. If I was a betting man, gets gifted over to Korn. Looks like Nasimka is just perfectly fine, focusing in on this position down here, which is doing decently well at keeping one combat bay and one in the water. I think Katsu is just there by choice, not by being forced there. He has T2 on board and nothing else. Psychoad has Nano and Gun on board. For him, Tactical Missile is done here for Blue Links in the north. He is a Seraphim, which means he can build the regular one, not the Billy Nuke that is reserved for the UEF and the UEF only. But of course, that missile on board is very annoying, just like the Billy Nuke is. You can deal with it with a TMD, which is fine, but early or in the game, the earlier you build it in the game, the more annoying it is. There, I said it. I can actually speak for once. Couple of gunships inbound here from Team 2 Psycho. They are the Whalers. Decent at their damage for air-to-ground units, but of course not as good as the Broadsword. There's a low lightning tank waiting to engage, and I don't know if Team 1... They can't see him. Looks like it's not cloaking. Looks like it's just stealth-based. Team 1... Yeah, there we go. They can see him now. Looks like it was just barely out of visual range. Nasimka not feeling super great, but he has been able to force out his opponent of Katsu, and he has a lot of AA, of course, nearby. Those lightning tanks adding a lot to that AA, lot being 1. I don't see... I hear a flat cannon. I just don't see it. See a couple of Yenzin running around. Maybe he had more. Maybe they got taken out or something, but looks like he's going to be perfectly fine. Going to rep up, as well as, of course, scoop up that mass. Team 1's Korn, of course, has a second base and a lot of air scouts fanning out the map here for Katsu, making sure he sees everything, or at least tries to see everything on the map for Team 1 on that at least western side at a minimum. In the east, another engagement ensues. Unfortunately, it's still a lot of Mongis for Team 2, which isn't unfortunate, I should say. It's just if Team 1 can close the distance, it'll make the difference. But of course, you can see, look at just how many shots go out. And now we see that the Monkeys falling back, still able to attack their opponents without being shot at for the most part. A couple of pillars act as a nice little pseudo brick wall for those units. Not really as tall or as beefy as a brick wall, but it's still better than nothing. I just love the air scouts that just sit on the map for vision or intel or both. For some players, they just sit there. They don't get used. They just sit there. But look at this. Team 2's Tough Boy suffering in the mass department. 1, 2, 3, 4 mexes have now gone down. Looks like he was building a radar, possibly, is what that would be for, but he stopped doing it. Another mex is going to go down. Team 1's Blue Links has taken out 6,000 plus worth of mass. Now at the 4-star veterancy, almost at 5-star veterancy, not checkpoint, but chest candy point, whatever phrase you want to give it. We see a group of ASFs here for each of those air players I mentioned. Team 2 has, of course, 2 of them. Team 1 has 2 of them. But, of course, the benefit for Team 1, not benefit and downside is, yes, they are down 1 player, but 1 player now has 2 bases, one of which, of course, is an air player, so that means more mass for ASF, especially because he's not really fighting a lot on land for now. I say for now because there's a lot of T2 units and also some T3 stacking up here from Mofo in the southwest. In terms of map control, Team 2 is winning almost the entire southern half, except for this little blurb down here for Team 1's Nasimka. And again, he has a tactical missile. It's not mobile on board his commander, but it is tactical missile going after, looks like PD / mexes, I would presume. We do see that Psycho Ad is just hanging out, going back to his base. Katsu looks like he's gone back to his base, producing a lot of transports to get his units across the map a lot easily. 22 minutes on the clock here. Team 1, of course, has lost the only player of the game of Astroshub And it's a 4v5 in favor of the southeastern team, or southern team, depending on how you want to phrase it that way in this game. Team 1's eco 1.4k, Team 2 1.2k, mostly driven by Corrin's dual bases, but we do see Nasimka at 300, and Psychoad for Team 2 a little bit over 300. Everybody else below that. So those are the players to watch out for here so far. Corrin, Nasimka for Team 1, and Psychoad for Team 2. Let me know down in the comments how you felt about my coverage so far, what the game is going with. Don't know where I was going with that. Who you think's going to win. Your thoughts, feelings, questions, aspirations, whatever you want to put down in the comments. Thank you so very much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. And of course, as always, if you haven't, why haven't you shared this video with your pets? Why haven't? Your pets deserve to watch this game, so you should watch it. Again, as always, thank you to those who do share this game with anyone, everyone, and especially their pets. And if you haven't subscribed already, why not? What's stopping you? It's free, so why not? We did see that but Mofo got shot a little bit by some Tort Bombers. Nothing too bad, just chipping the paint a little bit. Nothing too worrisome. We do see a couple of T3 Katsu Percy's down the middle here for Team 2. Katsu, wow, I said Katsu like 3 times there. And this base here for Nasimka. If he was still here, he would be dead. So it's a good thing that he left. Again, he has Nano Gun in T2, to be fair. But still, as we've seen in other games, as most of you have probably seen in games, Percy's are not to be underestimated, especially in small, like medium to small quantities. You'd be surprised how much damage they can output, even if they fire once for every, I forget how many seconds it is. I think it's like 3 or 4 seconds. No, I think it's like 5. Is it 5 or 6? I need to time it now to figure out what the exact. I feel like 10 seconds is too long, but I feel 3 or 4 seconds is too short. I think it's 5 or 6 seconds. And we do see a lot of T3 units. A couple of the T3 Parashield variety for the Seraphim faction. Of course, 10,000 hit points on board for those. In terms of the shield capacity, and of course, Nasimka is still sitting at 17,000 as well. Is there any spicy plays? We do see a monkey has been built here by Corrin, spending that eco, expanding his air grid. Look at that. And his teammate of Rigger's doing very much the same, not as expanded, but he is on 1 base versus the 2. So in terms of speed, that is to be surmised. T3 Air also online for Nasimka. He wants some ASFs on the field, or just have the ability to produce ASFs if he needs to. Very similar to a naval player going T2 Air just to have his own torpedo bombers, just in case. You'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. But unfortunately for this army, for Team 2's Tough Boy, he has not developed many Percys. He has not developed that many Titans either. And this force here for Team 1, Blue Lynx is going to steamroll. Of course, he's getting some assistance from Psychoad from the northeast with some of those bricks, which will force this army back, but most of it is gone. Tough Boy needs to get those T3 Percys online sooner rather than later if he wants to stay alive in the land game over there. Titans are great, just not for essentially line them all up and fire kind of not civil war, I guess civil war till whenever wars stop lining people up and shooting one another kind of thing. Nasimka dropping in on top of a couple of bricks. He will overcharge them quite quickly, has some gunship assistance as well. But again, he's more worried about the veterancy, which he almost gets the 3 stars with that. So he's like, hey, those are my kills, go away. I want my veterancy, those were easy kills, so go away. We do see, of course, that monkey leading the charge and forcing Team 2's Mofo's army back. Still the southwestern base here for SSSX, still holding strong. His air grid looking decent. His teammate of Psychoad's looking decent as well. Of course, not as expansive as Corrin, which of course will see the bulk of those ASF, as well as of course he's transitioning a little bit into gunship production. He is the Aeon faction. He has some Aeon tech at a minimum, so he can produce the restores, the best air-to-air. And here is the Billy Nuke. I thought that was a calm death, but that is not a calm death. That is a Billy Nuke. That's from Katsu. He's like, go away with that army, go away. And so Nasimka will take heed and go away. Gunships are inbound for this base here for Team 2's Mofo. I feel like this base has been under attack for a while now, or at least kind of on and off. They do get pinged here by Team 2. ASF's moving into position. The ones from Rickers are actually up here. It looks like Team 1's Rickers has a little bit more percentage of ASFs. Granted, he has all ASFs versus Corn's essentially 2 for 1, I'd say. So every 2 ASF, 1 gunship kind of thing. But still, those gunships do pack a punch. 6,000 hit points on board. Very, very, very good AA weaponry. And, of course, not great air-to-ground, but it's better than nothing. Monkey Lord, again, still leading the charge. Couple of Cougars on the other side of that pond. There's a couple of Titans as well over here. They're not Percy, so they can't rip through hit points as quickly. Titans, of course, can fire a lot of shots, but they just cannot output the same amount of damage. And as you can see, they're being blitzed down by said brick army. ASF's about to engage. Looks like Team 1 will take the, not the bait, but at least the initial engagement. ASF's coming in for Psycho Ad. The ASF's here for Team 1's Coin. Should engage. They will win this fight if they do. And here goes the fight. Now it's just a mix of 4 ASFs. How long can Team 2's or Team 1's keep up? I feel like with the addition, of course, of Corn, like I said, that is a victory in the air game for Team 1. And that will be a victory unless Team 2 or Team 1 pulls out, and it's a catastrophic victory for either team. It looks like it's going to be pretty close, but Team 1 will net the advantage, as well as, of course, having the Restorers online. Are they just going to go for Mofo's Calm? It looks like they're just going to go for a kill here. They can sit underneath the surface, underneath the coverage of the shield, because those T3 shields for the UEF are pretty tall, and Mofo does have shields on board, but only the regular ones, so 8,000 hit points already drained. These should be building flak, in my opinion, not SAMs. Of course, SAMs are nice to have, but again, the Restorers and other gunships like to sit in the muck as it is with that flak. And Mofo gets a little bit of assistance from the remaining ASFs for Team 2's SSSX, but he might just survive. That was very, very close. Had he not had the shield, he would be dead right now. Billy Nuke outbound going for a nice group of units over here. Gets a decent amount of veterancy here for Katsu in the middle. He's now up to 15,000 mass killed. And of course that monkey is inbound. The civilian structures, for the most part, not reclaimed very interestingly enough. This one kind of looks like a mini little Novak satellite. A little different, but kind of has the same kind of shape. And of course, the monkey is just going to storm in and destroy all the structures, except the one that looks like a satellite. Don't know why. That's just what it decides to do. The Percy's here from Team 2's Mofo do cut off any reinforcements, so now it's just the monkey versus the Comm. The Comm had the range upgrade on board, got rid of it, and then is going back for it once again. Don't know what's going on with that. He's repping up very quickly, though. But that monkey is inbound. That Comm's going to go for advanced range. I don't think this is the time to do that. The time for that would have probably been earlier and probably gone for shield. Takes out half of the hit points, but it doesn't matter on board that monkey. Team 2 will lose their first player of the game due to Corn's Monkey Lord at almost 30 minutes and a nuke almost at the exact moment. Who launched it? Looks like it's being launched by Team 1 in the back. That's outbound from Rickers. And where is it going? It's going for the air grid of Team 2's SSXX. Is there an SMD in range? There is. Will it be loaded in time? No. There's not enough assistance around it. It's not being built fast enough. This is a 20 by 20. It takes a while to get that nuke across the map. That Monkey Lord, surprisingly enough, is still alive. Is going to cause some more havoc for Team 2, especially going after this group of mexes here. They're building PD as we speak. Katsu should be fine to deal with that for the most part. Man, this nuke is taking a while. Actually, I will apologize. The nuke did not go for SSSX. I mean, that could be a new nuke. That looks like it's a new nuke, not a old nuke. Or this nuke. That's the new nuke. And that nuke is going to land. SSXX might just get taken out by this nuke if it's close enough, which it is. That's a dead comm. GG says SSSX. He knows he's done for. There he goes. Kaboom! And we see the flower that is the nuke for the Seraphim, at least the regular one with the comm explosion mirroring it. It is now a 3v4 game. Team 1 was down in the comms and in terms of the numbers left. And now Team 2 is down a 4-3 advantage for Team 1. And yes, he did do it. Rickers built the cruisers because why not? There are some bricks moving in to deal with that. I don't think that base is going to last much longer, but he still did it, so I will applaud him for going for the cruisers in the northeastern corner with very little influence on the game, but he still did it because why not kind of thing. What is Corn planning? Looks like he's building his own nuke as we speak and getting it shielded up and stealthed up and expanding his air grid, not air grid, but his mass generation as well as his teammate is, of course. The Simca going for an Albasaw bomber because why not? You're Seraphim, you have air, you might as well do it. Chickens online here for Blue Links. Of course, there are 3 Seraphim players on Team 1 still alive, so we're going to see a lot of Seraphim units. Of course, was the Cybran of Astral Shub, so we saw the Monkey, of course, another Megalith online for Team 1's Corn. He's spending mass head over foot, just spending as much mass as he can get a hold of. He's almost at 900. His opponent of Katsu is at a little over 900, but you can see the discrepancy now. Team 1, 31 minutes on the clock, 2.4k mass. For Team 1, Team 2, 2.5, excuse me. Team 2 at 1.7, so about 700, 750 mass in favor of Team 1 per second is a lot to be ahead, especially with a chicken bearing down your front door here for Team 1's Nasimka. Those Titans coming in to shade a little bit of the incoming fire to allow the purses to come in and just wall up everything that comes out of the water. This SMD will be loaded and will protect this base for Katsu now, and that base will be launched at by a nuke, but of course the SMD is there, so it's been loaded. So unless it magically disappears somehow, some way, he's going to be fine. In the east, another SMD is built and air grid being expanded upon by Psychoad. Team 2 needs to get their butts in gear and go for a bunch of mass, or they're going to fall behind just in terms of that. Now, mass income is not the only tell-all. It's not the only thing that determines who wins the game. It definitely doesn't help. It definitely doesn't not help. Of course, that nuke will be shot down. How much mass did that first nuke kill? 69,000. That's nice. Second nuke is, of course, being loaded here by Team 1's Corn. Another Billy nuke will be launched at the chicken. SMD will fire. Take out the nuke. No worries there here for Katsu. He owns essentially the entire southern side of the map. Especially because now that SSX is gone, looks like his teammate of Psychoad is cannibalizing at least the rest of what remains, which is essentially nothing. There's nothing left, no mass, no nothing, no muss, no fuss, no coconuts kind of thing. Tons of T2 bombers. Don't know why they're over here for Rickers. They are. Don't know why they are. I think they were going after those bricks, which did take out the T2 naval headquarters, but there's still a lot more bombers. Looks like they were just mad dashing for saving that facility, and now that it's gone, they don't really have any purpose anymore. Team 2 going to be attacked by a bomber here from Nasimka. We saw that being built early on. Cougar's trying to take out some anger issues on said bomber, but unfortunately are not able to drop it into the yellow, and half of that force is now gone. Team 2 needs more AA immediately. Team 1 is using the advantage that they have in air to their, advantage. And there's still that chicken that Team 2 needs to worry about. I don't see any plans for game enders as of yet. 2 nukes. That's not game ender level yet, but it is starting to get there. I'd say if each player on Team 1, including the one that died being Astro Hub, each built a nuke and they were like spam loading it, I feel like that's kind of game ender's level of worry. But 2 isn't terrible. You just need a little bit more SMD coverage than you normally would think of. Or at least have them load a little bit faster at a minimum. That bomber almost taken out. Another air fight ensues. Team 2 looks like they have the advantage. Of course, that could just be on sheer cosmetic. That's what it looks like, but not actually. But no, they do. Very good engagement here. Gets in behind the ASFs that are fleeing. Some do make it home, but most of them do not. And of course, as we know, dead men tell no tales, or at least in this game, they do. The observers talk. Plus, that would be me. Not observer, but caster, but also, of course, everybody else who's dead, who's still in the game and helping out their team. I don't see a lot of comms in chat. There are a decent amount, but nothing too constant. So I presume that maybe there's some Discord calls or something that's going on between at least a couple of these players on each team just to assist with easy, hey, this is going on over here, that kind of thing. Whaler's sitting here, not the best idea on the front line. There's no ASFs to protect them. Team 2's ASF still holding position. They have to circle back around and go after the ASFs, interrupting the leisure time of said whalers. Team 1 has pushed Team 2 back considerably and are now going after the island over here. And yes, technically that is an island. Barely, but it is. Of course, we have the Mangoeth outranging the PD. And that base for Katsu is going down. Still nothing in the north here for Team 1 in terms of monetary value, in terms of nuke value, in terms of the anything value. Still nothing going on. 35 minutes on the clock here. Team 1 sitting at 2.9K, not 31K. That's a lie. It's probably reclaim related or some really weird issue there. Team 2 at 1.9, so now 1,000 mass behind their opponents. That is a large hill to climb. They can climb it. They just need a nice little scalpel here, or another scalpel here, maybe just a baseball bat or something. Ricker says, go Scathus. Again, not my favorite experimental at the least. It is my least favorite, I should say, of the 4, so it is the one that I don't like. But again, there is the use for it. It's mobile. You can build it underneath the water or whatever and then move it out. Not my favorite. I prefer all of the other ones to that. And if you're going for artillery, just straight artillery, not that I'm saying you should build the Neva or anything, but I think T3 artillery would be more beneficial, especially if you can build, I think it's 3 T3 artilleries for the price of 1 Scathus. I could be wrong on that. Somebody down in the comments will probably correct me, but I think it's 3. Maybe it's 4. I think 4 is too much, though. I think it's 3. 3 with all the P-gens, I think, is what it equates to. Not exactly, but roughly. Couple of Fat Boys, couple being a couple 3 down the middle here for Katsu. Of course, he has to watch out for some bombers and chickens. 3 of them, in fact, here for Nasimka. Actually, no, that's an Awasa bomber that's repping up. Still hasn't controlled Cade that, wanting to leave it for just one last hurrah. Nuke is loaded here for Team 1's coin. Nuke is almost loaded, and again for Ricker. So there is 3 nukes potential here for Team 1. That's a lot of firepower to bring to bear. I feel like a good target would be this. Even if you sent 2 of the 3 nukes and got at least 2 of the 3 Fat Boys, that would be definitely worth the price of the nukes. Lots of Team D built here by Team 2's Tough Boy. He's built actually AA coverage and Team D next to his position, and a SMD, because why not? And that mass differential getting even wider. Team 1 scaling quite nicely. Corn 1.3K, and Blue Links now at 700 has surpassed Nasimka's value that he was at earlier on. And Tough Boy sitting at 300 for Team 2. Katsu at 800 and Psycho at 600. It's just more than 1,000 mass per second for Team 1 versus Team 2 is just a lot. And you can see that by just the sheer number of experimentals for Team 1 versus Team 2. Of course, it is a 4v3 advantage, but there are 4 chickens versus 3 Fat Boys. There's a crab down there. There's nukes being loaded. There's another crab there. And Corner's just spending mass, and he's spending mass hand over fist to go for, of course, the Paragon, the infinite money glitch, or infinite air quotes money glitch. It is one of the best experimentals in the game if you just want to build. You gotta have the build power to spend. You gotta have the build power to be able to spend the mass, but if you have the build power, it is very, very beneficial. Essentially, it's almost a gateway to a bunch of other things you can build, because if you have quote-unquote infinite resources, you can build quote-unquote infinite stuff. And I say quote-unquote because the Paragon is not infinite, but it is a lot of mass. Of course, we see 2 more Fat Boys on Team 2's side of the map over here, taking out a chicken. It will definitely hinder Team 1's advancement over here. It's been a decent back and forth between Tough Boy and Blue Links. We see it favoring a little bit of Team 1 as time goes on, but Team 2 is putting up a fight over there. This game may come down to just APM. Team 1, of course, now has 4 players, and Team 2 has 3. So naturally, APM will favor Team 1. We do see a couple of whalers over here going after experimental. That's not going to have a good day. There's another one over here. AA being built to protect the second one. Some spy planes over the top. Wants to see what Team 2 is up to. And honestly, they're not up to... Oh, there it is. There it is. He's spending all that 900 mass, or almost all that 900 mass, on that thing right there. And, of course, for shame, my good man. For shame. You have a shield. It's over there. Not built. Ooh, if that blows up, you're going to be very, very sad if you didn't build a shield over it. That's not great. Team 1, do you know that it's there? Well, they'll see it in a second once the icon appears over top that Mavor, but I don't like that there's no shield above it, or around it, or over it, or covering it, or whatever. We see, of course, the Paragon over here. If Team 2 notices, that would be not good for Team 1. But even if Team 1's coin lost this, he still has a whole bunch of mass that he can spend. Looks like he's power stalling. Oh, he's power stalling bad. Ooh, you got to fix that. You got to fix that. We do see a satellite over top here for Team 2. And what is this? There is the YOLO. So we have a YOLO. We have a Paragon being built. We have a Mavor being built and now done. SMD is loaded. This thing will be protected. And unfortunately, the SMD is going to go down. Oh, no. That sucks for Team 2's Gatsu. He just finished this. Oh, not enough shielding in the world will help him against that nuke. Oh, that's rough. That's why you always got to have a backup. Another nuke is inbound. Where is it going? It's going down here. Oof, that's rough. Looks like also some mass was assassinated over there. Does Team 1 have their own satellite overhead? I don't know, but there's a lot of mass dead over there. Oh, that's gonna be rough. Oh, the nuke. Oh, there goes the YOLO. Ooh. So at least in death, the Mavor still serves. Oh, that's rough. Oh, we got to go over to watch the glory that is the UEF's pride and joy go up in flames. Boom! And nothing is left. Oh, that is... Ow, is what I have to say to that. 400,000 mass, let's say, even if it was 100,000 mass for that first nuke that actually landed, that is 300,000+ mass killed on that one nuke. Team 2, that would have been a huge way for them to come back. They took out a YOLO that was almost done, or actually was done, or one or the other. I think it was actually loading at the current moment, possibly. But another nuke is outbound from Team 2? Yeah, it's outbound from Team 2 this time. It is a Cybrid one going after this position up here, which honestly isn't really anything up here. There's a couple of units, but it's not going to open a door. There's no land units to take advantage. I mean, even this would have been mass income. The SMD was down. You could have taken this base out here for Blue Links. I feel like the nuke could have gone in a better place. Strap Bomber stacking up, though, is never a good sign. And there are some ASF inbound with some Whaler assistance, of course. That's a lot of ASFs that Team 2 Psychoed has to bring to bear. And he wiped Ricor's ASF. And the Bombers got to get out of range or they're going to go down. Oh, that's a lot of mass died. There go the Strap Bombers trying to get out of that death ball, but most of them are gone. Where they're going, looks like they're trying to go after the nuke possibly here for Team 1's Corn. ASF coming in, trying to go after a nice little hook maneuver to go after said Whalers. I don't know where the Whalers are going. Looks like the Whalers are going after either the comm or the nuke. Looks like they're going after the comm. I mean, it's a straight shot for said comm. But maybe they're just going after the air, could go after the power reserves. That's probably their thinking, but I don't think there's going to be enough damage there anyway. Well, there went that. Paragon is almost done. More shields covering that. Bad Boys down the middle still pushing in against Team 1's Nasimka's land force. We see, again, a lot of PD built. Not going to help that situation. But there are now 6 chickens, excuse me, coming into screen or frame or whatever cinematography word for that. Another nuke outbound from Team 2 Psychoed. Where is this one going? Looks like it's going for this base. That should have been the first target. This SMD is 2/3 the way loaded. Wouldn't be in range anyways, but hey, it's 2/3 the way loaded. That's something. SMD up here, that's almost 2 loaded. Southwest situation going on here for Team 1. They've about to reclaim it, retake it, or take it for the first time, I guess, in this situation for Team 1. Team 1 owns the western edge. Team 2 almost owns the eastern edge, bar this tiny little position that Rickers just will not let go. And there goes the nuke. Kaboom! Oh, of course, boom, I should say for that one, but that one wasn't really that impressive anyway. My opinion, of course, but anyway. Team 2, I mean, they don't really have much left in the tank. They had that Mavor that would have been so good. They're building a new one as we speak, but it looks like he built multiple of them at the same time by accident. Don't really know what was going on with that. Team 1, of course, has the Paragon. It is done. Scatheye, Scatheye is definitely the word for it. Being built, 3 of them at the same time, I might add. Salvations are being built. That's not good for Team 2. Maybe we'll see another Paragon, another Salvation. So 2 Salvations more planned, of course. The YOLO being rebuilt on top of where the old one was destroyed. So we have seen the Paragon and the Mavor for sure. We might see the YOLO. I think we did see the YOLO, to be fair. I'll give the YOLO, even if it was either close to being finished or was finished. I think it was finished, so we'll just give the YOLO for being here. And the Scathus is the only one that has not been built yet in this game. 44 minutes almost on the clock here. We have Simka and Rickers. He's actually taken some damage just hanging out over there. Don't know what that's about, but looks like he got shot at by something. Psychoad says 50%. Talking about a nuke, I would presume? No, his nuke isn't loaded. He killed off 88,000 mass. Artillery is almost done here for him, though. In the face of a Paragon / Salvation scenario, 1 Disruptor is not going to do enough. Unless Katsu isn't at 50%. He's at almost 50%. 35% is what he's at so far. Don't really know what that 50% was he talking about. Nuke is half loaded once again here for Team 1's Corn. Another nuke is on the way, but it's going to be a while. And it looks like all of the production facilities gifted over to Corn, and all the P-Gens gifted over to Rickers, because he just doesn't need the power at this point. Salvation is online. Is he just going for that Mavor that's being built? It is almost half done. No, it's going. Oh, that's not good for Team 2's Katsu. He was almost half done with another one. Shields have now been started, and more of them on the way. Looks like they're possibly targeting the SMDs. Actually, not the Mavor. They may know about it, but they're targeting the. Oh no, they know about it. They know about it. The SMDs are the target. It's easy to nuke everything out of existence, or kill all the mass if you can nuke it. Said that in reverse, kind of like Yoda, but the meaning is conveyed. No mass is remained if the nuke is landed, kind of thing. YOLO is almost done. How's that Scathus doing? This one's the most far along. There's 2 of them over here, and of course there's another one somewhere. Maybe that was the Salvation I was thinking about. Second Paragon has been started. The first thing you do when you build a Paragon, you build a second one, because why not? Engineers trying to keep the Mavor online, but it's going to be a losing battle, especially up against the Paragon with 2 Salvations online. Good luck, especially if it gets a 3rd or a 4th. There is a realm of possibility where you can have enough shield coverage to hold out indefinitely, but only against artillery. If you're talking about land units on top of that, no. No, good luck. Or strat bombers, or whatever other damage source comes in. It's not going to be a good day. Of course, Disruptor is done for Team 2 Psychoad. Satellites over here for Team 2 is Tough Boy, but we have some chickens still moving down the front line here for Team 1's Nasimka. Hasn't really deployed them as much as you would expect. We do see all of the parashields have been deactivated in terms of their shield emitters, and they're being rinsed, just absolutely destroyed by those chickens. Salvations looks like they're going after the air grid, the power reserves for Team 2. And it's not going to be a good day here for Psychoad's air facility over there. This one should be a little bit fine, but not great. It's probably going to be the next target. There goes a P-Gen. Nope, almost. There goes the P-Gen. Half that air grid is down. Power reserve's not looking super well, but they're still online. Salvation's still targeting this Mavor. They've taken out some of the shielding, not all of it. Oh, as I say that, the shielding is gone, and the Salvation is also gone. Looks like there was another one built. Looks like, no, that one was just built. Looks like they just focused heavily on that. That's a Salvate. That's a Scathis, isn't it? Yep, that's done. So we have now officially seen all 4 game enders in one game of 46 minutes on the clock here. Team 2 looking down the barrel of a very, very big gun that's been divvied up to a lot of smaller guns that also have other smaller guns, like Salvation, for example, that just have a lot of shots outputting constantly. They are rapid fire for a reason, and they fire very quickly, especially ringed with T3 P-Gens and other power sources. Scathis, of course, being spammed up here now by Coin's second one almost online, and we do see that Katsu just throws in the towel, Psychoad throws in the towel, and Tough Boy throws in the towel. That's the game here, folks. 47 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock. Actually, excuse me, 6 seconds on the clock, and Team 1 wins the game. It just came down to Team 1 getting that kill on that SMD that protected that initial Mavor. Had that thing been kept online for 5-6 minutes, not a lot would be standing for Team 1. Team 2 did take out the YOLO, to be fair. Looks like this section of Mats, Fabs, and P-Gens were... That looks really weird why it's not doing something weird. Anyway, it helped kind of keep Team 1 at bay a little bit with the YOLO being down, but with 2 nukes, plus a Paragon on the way, plus a Scathis, plus Salve, it was just not... It was not going to be tenable for Team 2. So Team 1 wins the game here. MVP for me... Honestly, I think MVP for me has to go to Rickers. Even though he didn't do an outstanding job, he was a decent air player. Of course, I like his cruiser play down up in the Northeast. That one SACU that came in, killed off that SMD, is what set Team 1 on a path for victory. Team 2 had a Mavor, and they killed Team 1's YOLO. So, very big thing that happened. Even though the YOLO did die for Team 1, they had a backup plan with the Paragon, Salvation, everything else nonsense. Team 2 tried to rebuild the Mavor, just didn't have enough mass to spend. And that's just how the game goes. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video with anyone, everyone, especially your pets. And of course, as always, I will see all of you in the next one.